Hey, my name's Katie Faye. I'm on Weight Watchers, and this is a recipe for some 0 point shredded chicken. So, I am starting with a boneless, skinless chicken breast that we had left over from dinner and didn't cook last night. And I am going to beat it with a mallet so that it cooks faster. And at this point, I should have preheated my oven to 400, but I totally forgot. So I'm spraying my cookie sheet with some cooking spray, and then I'm going to season one side of the chicken with salt, pepper, and Italian herbs seasoning. This is not the seasoning I use every time I make this. Sometimes, if I know what I'm going to be cooking it in, I will season it accordingly. So, like last week, I had chicken fajitas with it, and I used a Mrs. Dash Chipotle seasoning. Another favorite seasoning mixture of ours is salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and parsley. That is a good chicken seasoning. Now I'm going to add this to the pan, season side down, and season the other side exactly the same way. So yeah, this particular chicken breast, I have a feeling is going to end up in some salads this weekend. So that's why I went ahead and seasoned it, pretty thoroughly. But also, if I know that I'm going to cook with it, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to cook with it, I'll leave it kind of bland. That way, as I reheat it, I can add seasoning at that point and it'll take on the seasoning of what I'm cooking with. And I can have a bigger variety of, meals that week. So I just preheated my oven. You saw me do that's what you were seeing me do. Usually if I had preheated my oven before I got started like a normal human being, I would cook this for 10 minutes, then take it out of the oven, flip it, cook it for another 10 minutes. But since I preheated my oven so late in the game, I actually stuck it in for 15 minutes the first time so that the oven had time to get to temp, and then the chicken still had time to cook. So that is what I did. And then when the timer went off, I took it out of the oven, flipped it, and then I stuck it back in for 10 more minutes to finish the cooking process. Also, if you're not using seasonings that dogs can't have, this chicken is a really good dog treat. Our dogs love it. So there's that as well. After this comes out of the oven, I checked it to make sure that it's up to temp. You want it to be 165. If you know that you're cooking it throughout the week, you know that you're going to cook with it every night and you're going to reheat it on the stove in recipes and things like that, then, you probably don't need to check the temperature. As long as it shreds well and it's not pink on the inside, you'll be fine. But like I mentioned, I'm probably going to use this in some salads this weekend, so I wanted to make sure it was fully cooked. To shred it, you can use 2 forks, but I find the easiest way to shred chicken breast is to use a hand mixer, which is what I'm using here. You want to make sure your speed is on low. I know this looks like I'm going fast, but I doubled the speed. So you want to use it on low so that you don't sling chicken all over your kitchen. I have learned that the hard way. And then once your chicken is to the consistency that you want, you can stop shredding it. I shredded this pretty thin because I'm using it for salads. If I was cooking with it, I would have let there be some bigger chunks in the chicken as well. And all that's left now is to put it in my container. I use these delis because they're dishwasher safe, microwave safe. They stack in my refrigerator nicely, and they're like the best organizational hack that I have, which I don't have a lot of organizational hacks. And I found these extra labels at the US food store. If you don't have extra labels like I do, you can use masking tape to label your food and say like when you need to eat it by. But those labels were made for restaurants, so they dissolve in the dishwasher, which is really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. You can see me sneak a little slivers to my dogs here in just a second. They love it, like I mentioned. I love it. It's a great standby. It's great to have on hand, and I hope you try it.